I'm Alex, the architect from Backfrap, and I'll guide you through on how to integrate and use Twilio from inside your Backfrap app. Twilio is a message sending platform. It allows you to send messages, and Backfrap already sends push notifications and emails, which is common for most users. But sometimes you need some more advanced features, such as sending WhatsApp messages and other kinds of messages, and Twilio comes to help for that. The Twilio SDK is a built-in add-on in the Backfrap stack. You can always check your built-in modules, open up your Backfrap app, go into App Settings, Server Settings, Manage Parse Server, click Settings, and for every version of Parse Server that we deploy together a whole stack with it. And in here, all these modules, you can use its content without having to install the module yourself, which makes it really easy to integrate to your code. So if you look, for instance, I'm using Parse 450, and in here you can find the Twilio SDK built in, which means I don't have to download and install it. I can just use it in my cloud code. I will also need a Twilio account. All I have to do is to go to Twilio.com and create a free account to you. It will give you a few free credits that you can use for testing, and you can send real messages using those credits. Once the credits are used, you have to buy new ones in order to keep operating. And from here, we're going to need two pieces of information. The first one is the account SID, which is this big number here. You can click here to copy it, and you need that number to use Twilio from Backfrap. The second piece of information is the auth token, which is a secret key that you can show up by clicking this button here and copy it from clicking this button here. You need both these values in order to instantiate the SDK from your Backfrap app, which means you need access to this information. If you don't have it, you have to look around in your Twilio dashboard. It will be there inside the very first screen, and you need access to both. Back to Backfrap, in order to instantiate the Twilio SDK, you should go to Cloud Code, Functions and Web Hosting, and click the main.js file. In here you have a sample code because this is a new application, so I'm going to select it all and delete it. And then we can start instantiating our SDK. I'll do this here on the dashboard, but most of this week we will work locally because it's easier to debug. So all I have to do is to type const client equals require, and we're going to specify which module that we are requiring, in this case Twilio. And I'm going to open parentheses once again, and in here we are going to pass in the information that we have from the dashboard as two strings. So the first string is going to be the account SID that I'm going to copy from here, paste it in there, then a comma. Then I'm going to add the second information, which is my auth token. Then I'm going to copy it from here and paste it in there. I can then put another comma and pass in some options between brackets. For instance, I could use lazy loading, which accelerates the load of my module. All I have to do is type lazy loading as true. This is in the JSON format. So right now, all I have to do is click deploy, and now my Twilio and SDK is integrated and authenticated with my app in Backfrap. We are going to configure the messaging services from Twilio and create the local project where we are going to see most of the code of this series. So here I am at my Twilio dashboard, and if you go to the Develops tab, you see the messaging section in here. If you don't see the messaging section, all I have to do is click Explore Products. In here you have messaging, you click that button, and it will show up the messaging section in there. If you go to Overview, It will show you some code samples, a summary, and some videos that you can follow to learn a little bit more about it, but we are interested mostly in the try it out section. Here you can click Get Setup and it will guide you through the setup of the messaging services. So the first step is to create a service. So all you have to do is click Start Setup, give it a good name. I'm going to call mine Back for App, but you can name yours anything you want. So Back for App. Create messaging services. It will ask for a number. If you don't see a number in here, all you have to do is click this provision, a different number. It will give you a number in there, and this is the number that Twilio will be using to send the messages from to all your clients. So add this number, and now you can click this Try SMS button. And from here you can see the to phone number, which is the number that you want to send messages to. In this case, it's my own phone number. Here you have a code section with multiple languages that you can choose. It will automatically generate code for those languages. So all you have to do is copy this code, paste into your projects, and you're good to go. Here you can select the messaging services that you want to use. In this case, I just have one, the Back for App we just created, and have a body text, which is the text that the user will receive. So I'm just sending hello from Back for App. When you click the Send Test SMS, it will give you a message over there, and there you go, I just received the message in my cell phone. So this is pretty much all you have to do to test out the SMS messages. If you're interested in testing the code, all you have to do is to choose the language that you're most familiar with in here, copy the code, paste into your project, and it should work quite the same. My information is grayed out in here because it contains some sensitive data about myself, but you can rely on your own to send messages to you. And here on my Visual Studio, we're going to download and install the Twilio NPM SDK. So all I have to do is go to a directory where we are going to install it. I'm into my Twilio directory. So I'm going to install npm install Twilio. This takes a couple of seconds as it will download and install everything for me. And also in here, I'm going to create a index.js file that I'm going to write my code in. So touch index.js. The touch command creates an empty file. So if I just run this, you see my index file showed up there. And from here, we can go back to our Back for App account and copy the code that we produced on the last video, which instantiates the Twilio SDK. Paste it in here, and also I'm going to code in here a async function that I'll call run, and this is the function where we are going to write most of our code, and then I'm going to call this function, so run, and in here I'm just going to console log hello from Twilio, save it, and if I just run node index.js, you see hello from Twilio. From now on, we will be able to authenticate to Twilio and send messages from our Node.js code. Today, we'll be sending our first SMS message. So here I have my Visual Studio open with the code that we produced yesterday, on which I instantiate the Twilio SDK with my account ID and my auth token. So also we created the run function that will execute and run our code. And in order to create a new SMS message, I have a few methods that I should call. Those will be asynchronous calls, so we'll start by declaring a variable that will hold the call, so let response equals. Then we'll use the client that we instantiated our SDK, so client dot. Then we'll call the messages class, and in here we'll call the create method, which will create our SMS message. This will take a JSON object inside with a few parameters that we must send. The first one is the body. The body will be a string containing the message that we want to send. So we're going to send hello from Back for App, comma. The next one will be the messaging service ID, which we will retrieve from our Twilio dashboard. So messaging service SID. This will also be a string, and I will copy from my Twilio dashboard as we saw yesterday, comma, and last but not least, we'll have to send this message to someone, in this case to my personal cell phone number, so 2, and will also be a string, and we have to put the full telephone number in here containing the country code, the area code, and the phone number. So my cell number, so 55, which is the Brazilian country code, 11, which is my city code, and then finally my number. So then we can check for the response. So we'll make an if statement. And inside here, we are going to print out the response. So console log response. I'm going to save all this and we are going to execute it. So node index.js run. So we can see it returned a promise, and my cell phone just got the message saying what exactly? So it says, send from your Twilio trial account, which is our trial account. So whatever you're sending messages from your trial account, it will add this header to your message. If you don't want this header to show up, you'll have to pay for their services. And then a little bar, and then hello from back for app. Today we'll be configuring and sending WhatsApp messages. So the first step is to configure a sandbox. Here I am at my Twilio dashboard, and here on the messaging section we have sent a WhatsApp message. And the first step is to send this code in here to this number from my WhatsApp. This will create the sandbox so we can send messages to it. It must be done in this order, or we will not be able to send WhatsApp messages. So here on the other screen I have my WhatsApp open, and as soon as I click send message with that code, you'll see that it opens up a new window for me telling that the message was received, and we are now will be able to send messages using the SDK. Back to Visual Studio, here is the code that we use to send SMS messages. We'll be changing a few properties in here. The messaging service SID will be changed to a new property called from. That will be the number that will be sending messages from to my WhatsApp. And here in the code, I'll be changing for the WhatsApp semicolon and the telephone number that we just sent a message to. This will be the number sending the message from now, and it must contain the WhatsApp string before it, so it knows it's a WhatsApp message. And here on my personal number, I also have to add WhatsApp and semicolon, so it knows it's sending a WhatsApp message to this number as well. If I save this code and run node index.js, hit enter, here is the confirmation ID that I just received, and I just received the WhatsApp message in my cell phone. Today is finally the day where we're going to get everything that we learned so far and integrate in the Backfrap Cloud Code section. So here I am at my Backfrap dashboard into the Cloud Code section, and Functions and Web Hosting. We're going to open up the main.js file, and as we did before, here is my client instantiated with the Twilio SDK containing my account SID and auth token. And we are going to create a cloud job that every time it's executed is going to send a message to my cell phone. You can use this exact same approach for cloud code functions and for database triggers. It works exactly the same. So to code a cloud job, we're going to start typing parse.cloud.job. Pass in a job name. I'm going to call my send SMS. This will get a async request that we are going to arrow function to our code. And as a cloud job, it always has to return something. So return true. And in here, we're going to use the exact same code that we used to send the SMS from locally. So we're going to call client, which is instantiated up here, dot messages, dot create. This will take a JSON object as a parameter. So the first thing I have to send in here is the body, which is the text that we're going to send. So body, and then a string containing my message. So hello from back for app, comma. Then we have to pass in the messaging service SID, which we created in the first video of this series. So I'm going to paste mine here. The parameter is named messaging service SID and the string containing the ID for the messaging service. You can retrieve this in the Twilio dashboard. Last but not least, we have the to property, which is a string containing the complete number to the phone that is going to receive the SMS. In my case here, it has to contain the full telephone number, which must contain the country code, area code, and telephone number. So my country code is +55 because it is Brazil, 11, which is my area code, and finally my telephone number. With that done, we can click deploy. This will take a couple of seconds. We are deploying this to all the application servers. There we go. Now, if we go to the job section, you'll find send SMS here. And as soon as I click run now, you get a success message and my cell phone just received the hello from Back4App. So this is how you integrate Twilio to Back4App so you can send any kinds of messages from our platform using Twilio services. I hope you liked this video, hope you enjoyed the series, and hope to see you on the next series soon. If you liked this video, please click the like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you can help us grow. Also, share this link with a friend and they can learn something too. If you already subscribed, thank you for that. And if you have any questions, suggestions, or any implementation you'd like to see, please leave it on the comment section below. We always answer all the questions. I hope you liked this content and hope to see you back soon. See you soon. Bye bye.